Okay guys, dye painting, Kevin Dye here. I like to do video bids of all the properties that we do quotes on, so as everybody who's involved can see exactly what our job entails. So for us, we're the main building here, the main church building here. What we basically do, I'll just walk through it. Pressure wash is key. We have to have a complete and absolute clean surface. I often pressure wash all the pine needles and so forth off roof and out of gutters as well while we are here. And then we will usually trench the dirt back on this ground level here. We bring the dirt back so that when we paint, it has an even coat that goes back up in there. Pretty much, I'll just bid it on the way I see what it needs to be done. We are a prep-based company, so we do caulk in all these lines. We caulk in everything because that's the longevity aspect of paint. So whatever the colors that's chosen is going to be the same cost for us. We do 2 coats on everything. I would suggest stain on this building as well. We'd pressure wash this, we put a coat of stain on it. Prep is obviously key throughout here. All up and down this has to be just washed and sealed up because we're getting a little rot there and we want to fix that before it becomes a problem. Pressure wash all this stuff up. Masking of all windows, no paint on the ground, everything is shot with paint and then back rolled to have a real dipped appearance. I would suggest staining of this structure right here as well, this little patio thing here. Basically everything through here would be masked and shot. Doors would get sanded and get a coat of spar varnish. I like to put a little spar varnish on these too. We kind of do a turnkey situation when we paint. So again, same thing, trench rocks, trench the dirt back, do the whole edge all around the sides. A lot of paint on this building. This is a big building. Through here as well, multiple coats. This is very important that this side of the building, it's taken the brunt of the abuse, so we really want this to kind of be the shining beacon for our community, and this is how we can do it right here. We would caulk in all the aspects of the cross, and we would make sure that they are painted in really nice. Big wall here. We'd have to cover all the ground obviously so that we have no paint anywhere but on the building. We would come through and all these areas are caulked in. Everything would be caulked in. Prep is key for us. So through here as well, pretty much everything that's green will be green again. Scraping, very important. Big wall here. All windows would be masked. We prefer to do trim a little differently than this. This was done kind of fast. We like to actually take our trim in and do this edge so it appears a little more professional. And we also like to caulk the tops of these windows. That reduces the chance of leaking, which happens if we ever get a winter, if it ever shows up. Lights are stripped off the building. All lights are taken off the building so as to paint. This one actually, I would suggest if we're going to keep it here and paint it into the building, take the bulbs out, paint the light into the building. All doors are done with a semi-gloss. These were rolled. You can tell the stippling or stippling. I like to actually do those by machine. So we basically go through piece by piece. Stuff like that up there would be caulked in. Stuff like this stuff down here would be caulked in, so to try to remove the aspect of having water or anything in the way. Good pressure washing, a lot of masking, but not that big of a deal. It's a big property and there's definitely a lot. Stuff like this we like to try to set a screw in, see if we can actually pull that in a little tighter and then caulk it in. Whole idea is that we want the appearance of the building to seem as if it had been dipped in paint. We use the best Kelly-Moore paints money can buy. We do not skimp on our paints because when you skimp on paint, that's where we end up getting into trouble. I'm not sure if that's a woodpecker hole or what, but I would suggest we take it down and patch it correctly. I do plugs if it is a woodpecker hole so that it looks really nice. Again, caulking in here. Now this side over here, I would suggest that it would be a stain. We'd come through and we'd stain all this. and stain all this. And I would like to actually get into that up there as well. I would suggest a satin spar varnish, possibly a stain to hide some of the watermarks off those edges. But again, this is a real important side of the building. And I think if we stained all this, oil-based stain, we won't get anything at all on the Trex, nothing on the Trex. But this is an important part. I want people to pull up and for the next 15-20 years just look at this and be amazed. And you know, on some of the stuff here, whatever trim colors the church decides, it's not a big deal. Basically the whole aspect, the main important part is just prepping, is making sure that those are sealed up, and that's taking the brunt of the weather up there. It's chipping, it's starting to fade, so that we use a Kelbond Pro form of primer that would seal that up, and then with the proper amount of paint and back roll, it would definitely hide it. Through here as well, you get rid of a lot of the cedar burn and run off the black stuff by just pressure washing it, a little bleach and a Hudson sprayer, cleaning it out. But I mean, this deck we could make look brand new. I mean, we could make it just like absolutely gorgeous. So same thing in here, the lids, lights would be, the bell housings of the lights would be pulled so that we can actually shoot them, and then we'd put them back up, and then all this in here, just a good pressure wash, and then I'd suggest a good varnish, exterior spar varnish, maybe a satin that doesn't have a shine, and that could, you know, usually could be sprayed on. It's not really that time consuming to do, but it would save it. This edge here, best bet is to pretty much bleach it and then run a quick sander on it so that we get rid of some of these tiger watermarks. We don't want those to be there. Beams to be stained. And again, I don't kid around when I say prep-based company. We caulk in everything all the way up. It's very important that this building is sealed and just impervious to water. We want this place to stand for a very, very, very long time. Sanded through here, spar varnish on these doors, stain all through here. We caulk stuff like that in. This job would probably take me 2 weeks. Our guys are complete unemployment insurance, workman's comp, insured, all the fun things that you're supposed to have, we have. We would use special ladders with hook adapters that go over the roof so they would go down. All that area up there, like that board coming loose, all of it, everything would be put back in place. We're very adamant about just making sure everything, it's a turnkey situation. So I like to go in and do things that we walk away from and know every aspect of it is done. Personally, I would stain that gate, that plank wall in here, and I would stain this too. I think it would look really nice if we pulled up and we just had a couple coats of stain and brought the color in on that. Obviously the bell up there, that would be done as well. So that's kind of what, in the scope of what I see on this building, not counting any of the other buildings or the offices, but I know I could make this place look as if it was built last week. And yeah, we definitely want a shot at it. We take great pride in our detail. And I have a very, very long list of references, not only on Yelp, but just all the local stuff up here as well. So that gives you a rough idea how we could take care of it. And yeah, so I'll write something up and we'll go from there. Thank you very much.